And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've seen you here on Auto Holiday News, the only news you'll ever need, because you have no other choice. Boy, is it great to see you guys, just like it's great to be in the Empire today. 3 big videos today, in case you missed it. The more important one is in that car in the top right-hand corner. I'm talking finally, the brand new Galactic Legends Leia Organa that we totally did not see for several months in advance coming. We're talking brand new Return of the Jedi raid, new Ewok, new Rebel Part 1 requirements for Leia, a little sneak peek of what her basic's gonna look like for the Rebellion. In this video, we're talking about the brand new Conquest unit that's gonna start next week. So give it about 3 months. We'll have this guy in our inventory. We're going to talk about the Terran Malicos new Conquest unit. And after this, we're going to talk about the Leviathan kit reveal in a separate video. Too many things going on today. Man, I'm loving it today. There's a lot of energy, a lot of hype going on in Star Wars Galaxy. But I'm mad. I'm a little mad right now. So in case you guys forgot, last week when we were about to get the Cal Kestis Legend, right, we saw interesting artwork show up for Terran Malicos, and some people just weren't sold that he was actually coming as a playable character. But I've been playing this game long enough, and I know when you make that type of artwork, it means he's coming in a bigger capacity, not just as a random boss for one part of the legendary event. And here it is. It's going to be the next Conquest unit from Jedi Fallen Order, coming to Star Wars Galaxy. One of the biggest boss fights, one of the most viewed lightsaber video game duels you could possibly find on YouTube. It's a big one. It's one of the more difficult fights inside Star Wars video gaming history. But here's my issue. Look at the lack of tags. Ouch! No, like Night Sister tag, Dathomirian tag, Zabrog, Night Brother tag, anything like that. Just a dark side unaligned force, which isn't wrong. I totally knew he wasn't Sith. He wasn't a Sith Lord. He wasn't a Jedi at this point. Long story short, if you don't know the lore of Terran Malicos, it was basically a Jedi, and after Order 66, lived on Dathomir, and then kind of became one of the Dathomirian culture, studied the dark arts of the Night Sisters, and he kind of grew his power from there. So he's definitely an unaligned force, but man, not having Night Sister synergy is pretty rough, and they say straight up, it's not meant for Night Sisters, but they do say he's going to be really darn good. We'll have to wait and see. So far, only one Conquest unit this year has felt to be really good, and that's going to be the new Fury class Interceptor. Scythe Trench hasn't really felt all that good, but I have a feeling this one's going to be really good. But they're aiming it. We're going to go through more of this stuff later on today. It does have a Grander at Omicron. You got me sold on that point. They also talk about how this could be a good lifter unit for Maul, or Lord Vader, I'm sorry. Lord Vader, whoo, he definitely needs some help. This could be a little bit of help for the guy, but also they're trying to really target Seer's unaligned force user squad to really punch him. She's already a solid team. This could be really deadly. So just a stage, possibly helping out Galactic Legend more with Maul, and then unaligned force user Seer teams. Yikes. We're going to talk about all this other stuff in a moment, but then just to remind you one more time, this is going to be a Conquest unit, so 3 Conquest cycles. Be every 2 weeks or so. So we're looking at, somewhere in that 2-month threshold, give or take, that we're going to unlock it. So probably let's looking at like a September type of unlock. We'll talk about the rest of the stuff that devs talk about in a moment, but let's look at the basic ability. Dark Strike, and we saw all these animations inside the data mines, and we didn't see them in the event. And that's what made people think, oh, the event's bugged. We're not seeing all the abilities. Nuh-uh. This Malicos that we saw in the data mines, different than the one inside of the legendary event for Cal Kestis. Deal physical damage to target enemy, gain 2 stacks of Edge of Madness. It's going to go up to maximum stacks of 100 until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. This attack can also not be countered. Edge of Madness, what it's doing, it's minus 2% defense per stack. We're just getting started. It's going to make a lot more sense. Let's keep moving along. We're talking special one, Vile Thrash. Cooldown of 3 with the Zeta. No Omicrons just yet. As you can tell, now it's getting a little beefy here. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain repose for 2 turns. This stack has 30% defense penetration and quadrupled if all allies are dark side or light side unaligned force users. Holy cow, man. This is probably gonna hit really darn hard. This is why it sounds like it's gonna be great in the Lord Vader team. I just want to say, there's always people think I'm wrong. I'm right about Lord Vader. He's underwhelming. And the fact that they're kind of making a second lifter unit for Lord Vader. It's okay to say I'm right for those that don't believe me. Just like the same people didn't believe me that I was right about Leia Organa. Wrong. And here's another part where I'm right. It's okay. It's all right. I'm the king of tripping gods get the mobile gaming anyways. Just it blows my mind that Lord Vader needs 2 lifter units. Anyways, if Malicos has at least 20 stacks of Edge of Madness, he takes a bonus turn. He's gonna be pumping the turns very quickly. And I'm not gonna say quite like Maul, but Maul gets a lot of back-to-back turns. For every 20 stacks of Edge of Madness he has, dispel them, and then gain a stack of Madness Manifested. A little bit different we're going to talk about until the next time he uses Die Whelp is defeated, or the end of the encounter. What a great name, Whelp. Oh, and if the ally in the leader slot is a dark side or light side unaligned force user, the cooldown of this next ability, Die Whelp, it's kind of a funny name, is reset. What Madness Manifested does, minus 40% tenacity per stack. The next time this character uses Die Whelp, it deals 50% more physical damage per stack. Yikes. Reduce the current max health of the target enemy by 15% for the rest of the battle. So kind of like General Anakin Skywalker, which is stacking, excludes raid boss and galactic legend, which can't be resisted, and removes all stacks of Madness Manifested. So here we go. This is why you're gonna want to likely use Seer June to lead. You're gonna likely use Lord Vader. I was gonna say, you could maybe use, Rey, Galactic Legends. Rey could maybe use Malicos, which is a little bit weird, but he's not light side, so Rey's not gonna help him out as much. But as you see, his damage is quadruple if everyone's light side or dark side on like forces or allies. His cooldown's gonna be reset if everyone's light side, dark side. So I'm just saying that could maybe work with Rey. He just won't get damage immunity and all the other stuff. And here we go, Die. Wow. Cooldown of 6, and here's our first Omicron. Again, Grand Arena Omicrons, you got me sold. Oh man, here we go. This is the rock throwing ability, which we did see this ability inside of the event, but the kit is just vastly different. Deal physical damage and inflict vulnerable to all enemies and stun target enemy for 1 turn. And if the target had defense down, the stun just cannot be resisted. So getting through tenacity up, high tenacity checks, no problem. Making sure even Wampa can't have a easy time against that. I don't even think you need the stun to stop Wampa. It sounds like it's gonna be good. Even so, if the target enemy in the leader slot, if the target enemies in the leader slot increase their cooldowns by 1, which can't be resisted. Now notice this. I'm not even seeing. It doesn't affect Galactic Legends. This could affect Galactic Legends. I just want to throw this out there again. It seems like they're really trying to help out Lord Vader again, which they should. He's underwhelming, and I'm kind of sad. It's not like I want the guy to be trash. I want him to be good. I'm just not living in a fantasy land that he's a great Galactic Legend. He's definitely subpar when it comes to the Galactic Legend space. But if you keep targeting Master Kenobi, you could really wreck his cooldown decrease. Think about it. Maul already increases Commander Tano's cooldowns. This could increase Master Kenobi's cooldown. I'm just putting it out there. This is actually really impactful, just for the fact it doesn't exclude Galactic Legends. However, what about when we're in Grand Arena? When we're in Grand Arena, you got that Omicron dialed in, deal additional true damage to all enemies, and inflict buff immunity, healing immunity on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. So again, I'm thinking Lord Vader versus Master Kenobi. High tenacity means absolutely nothing. It can't be resisted. You're locking it in place. So maybe helping you get that buff immunity on General Kenobi, then getting the buff dispel in, boom, you're getting around the guy. And if the ally in the leader slot is dark side or light side online force users, Malicos gains 20% critical damage and often stacking until the end of the battle. Wowza. Wowza, 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 wowza. This guy sounds like he's gonna hit. All right, again, we gotta wait and see. There's a difference between on paper and then in actuality. 1,000% of one isn't really that big of an increase, if you know what I mean. Unique ability, another one. Omicron, Echo of the Fallen Order. Ooh, that just has a ring to it, baby. Final text, all allies have plus 30% critical damage. So it's kind of like critical chance, excuse me. It's kind of like a mini leadership ability. Unique abilities, are often the unsung heroes in the game. They are like leader abilities in a lot of situations out there. Kind of like the new Captain Rex, kind of the new secondary leader for the Phoenix. So if all allies are unaligned forces to start a battle, so, Rey, Lord Vader, Seer Junda, while Malicos has at least 1 stack of Edge of Madness. Whenever he scores a critical hit, all other allies gain 5% critical damage and offense stacking until the end of the encounter. So slowly going up and 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 up. Oh, Lord Vader can hit hard in a given period of time. This is going to make Lord Vader hit really hard, a lot faster. Whenever an ally is inflicted with healing immunity, they dispel it right away. And they gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Healing immunity, I'm trying to think how many battles really utilize healing immunity in a Lord Vader team. For example, I want to put this out. Seer Junda, for example. Let's look at the Seer Junda situation. Bad Batch Echo is a common counter to Seer Junda. Being able to get buff the spells and the healing immunity, this seems like it's going to try to hard counter it. They're going to get damage immunity right away. Healing immunity against with Jedi Master Kenobi against Lord Vader is mostly the Jedi Master Kenobi healing immunity, but that's a locked debuff, so I don't think he can cleanse that, but at least getting damage immunity, kind of a big deal. So again, because Lord Vader is all about max health, healing immunity is a horrible effect to have on a Lord Vader team. Damage immunity basically, in a sense, negates it. Then whenever they are inflicted with stun, they dispel it and recover 30% health and protection. So this really seems like it's trying to throw off Bad Batch against Cere Junda. That's really the thing that's landing at me, because I use Bad Batch. It's one of the best budget ways of handling Cere Junda. Otherwise, very complicated to beat a Cere Junda team with a budget type of lineup. So, for example, we have several stuns in a Bad Batch team. They're gonna just boom right away. They're gonna just cleanse it, recover 30% health protection. Kind of feels like how Captain Rex prevents ability blocks and dazes, kind of common ways of stopping Phoenix. These are common ways of countering a Cere Junda team, but there are going to be some uses inside of a Lord Vader team potentially. But we're not done yet. We still have the Grand Arena Omicron. Enemies defeated by allies, they just can't be revived. I want to emphasize that. Enemies defeated by allies can't be revived. This isn't a leader ability. This is just baked into a unique ability. Throw it in any type of lineup. It's like almost having the Wat Tambor weapon tech passively for the entire team. Holy cow. It's not just Malicos defeating. Any ally defeating prevents revives. My gosh. Holy cow. This effect persists of Malicos. Holy crap. No kidding. That's a rare line right there. I glanced over that when reading through the kit initially before recording. Holy cow. There are not many abilities in the game that persist when Malicos is defeated. There's no unique ability that does that. Leader ability still persists in a battle if a leader's defeated. The leader ability persists unless you go into a cleanup and the leader's gone. That's a different story. But leader abilities are generally the only effects that persist after death. This is the first unique ability, or any ability in general outside of leadership abilities. Holy cow, that's insane. The first time another dark side or light side unaligned forces or ally would be reduced to 1% health if Malicos is active. They recover 100% health and protection, gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Holy crap. Lord Lord Vader better be freaking amazing after 2 lifter units and the crazy requirements to get Lord Vader. Crap ton of, oh my gosh, just imagine. You have to get Malicos out before Lord Vader, but just imagine you don't know what you're doing. You're going for Lord Vader. It's like, oh, I almost beat him with my Fennec counter. Boom, back to 100% health, and they gain damage immunity for 1 turn. They take a bonus turn to gain critical chance of critical damage of offensive. Holy cow. This is huge. The unaligned force tag, when it first came to the game, it was kind of like, this is dumb. It's one of the most valuable tags in the game lately. While Malicos is active, whenever an enemy with less than 100% turn meter gains bonus turn meter, Malicos gains a stack of Edge of Madness, and that enemy takes true damage that can't be evaded, limited once per turn. This damage can't defeat enemies. So this is, again, a lot of situations, Bad Batch Echo, or just the Bad Batch in general, get a lot of turn meter. I also want to emphasize the go-to budget counter that makes Lord Vader kind of laughable is the Fennec counter. They get a lot of turn meter gain. Grief Karga keeps feeding turn meter over and over and over again. This could be a problem. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like in application, but yeah. One of the ways of beating Lord Vader is you just steamroll them. You just keep taking turns after turn. But that's not going to be good with Malicos in the lineup. And we're still not done yet, guys. Look at this giant paragraph we have. Strength is power. It's got a Zeta. Got the Omicron locked in. Again, Grand Red Omicrons, you have my attention all day. Malicos attacks that can't be evaded. Enemies defeated by him can't be revived. Seems a little redundant. I don't know. It just seems a little redundant, but I guess to be fair, that's the Omicron. So even if you're not going to throw in a Grand Red Omicron, at least he can stop revives. Malicos stacks can't be evaded. Enemies defeated by him can't be revived. He has 75% counter chance, 100% health steal. Holy crap. And at the start of the battle, he gains 25% offense for each other dark side or light side unaligned force user. My God, there are so much offense wrapping throughout this kit. Yeah, so that's right there, straight from the very each other. So he's going to get 100% offense right from the very get-go, whether it's Cere Junda, Rey, Lord Vader. And if the ally in the leader slot is a dark side or light side online force user, the guy's going to constantly ignore taunts. And that's one of the issues with the Lord Vader team specifically. I was just thinking about this the other day. I don't know why. I'm like sitting there reflecting on Lord Vader just in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, you know what his biggest problem is? He's just like kind of stuck behind taunts. Like if he's stuck behind a taunt, the guy is just useless. Almost all Galactic Legends can ignore a taunt to a fairly good degree. Lord Vader just gets stuck behind one, and that's one of the biggest issues. Malicos is gonna be like a wild son of a gun, just running around everywhere. While he's debuffed, he gains an additional 50% health steal. And I'm gonna guess that the Edge of Madness and all that, I'm guessing that's kind of considered a debuff, sort of like Maul's Hatred. Whenever Malicos uses an ability during his turn, if he has accuracy up or defense up, he immediately uses Dark Strike. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he gains 10% critical damage, more stacking. The critical damage is stacking. The offense is stacking throughout the kit. It's going to stack up for 3 turns, so it's not like unlimited stacking. It's going to cap, and then it's going to reset after 3 turns. Whenever he's inflicted a daze, he dispels it, reduces cooldowns by 1. Yeah, this seems to be like the biggest FU poem to Bad Batch, like daze, anti-healing immunity, anti-turn meter. This is going to be a wild team to beat. Otherwise, in order to beat Sirajunda, you kind of like, it feels like you need like a Traya almost. So, geez, this is nuts. And then we're not done yet. Whenever an enemy dispels a debuff, Malicos inflicts from one of his abilities, he gains a stack of Edge of Madness until the end of the encounter. So cleaning your debuffs is going to be a big problem. It's like usually when you cleanse debuffs, like, that's it. There's no more issues. You still got some issues on the field. And now we have the Omicron baked in here. At the start of the battle, Malicos gains a stack of Edge of Madness until the end of the encounter. And all unaligned forces or allies gain critical hit immunity for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled. Okay, let's be realistic. You know, there's a difference between the kit looking hype and like, it already sounds like this is gonna be amazing even before testing it. This just sounds fantastic. Getting critical hit immunity locked in. Throw this on a raid team. Starkiller is gonna be sweating bullets if he can't get the critical immunity off of a raid, and you're gaining turn meter. She's ramping up like crazy, and he's also getting 100% max health and 50% max. Give me this character. I can't wait several months. Whenever he uses an ability during his turn, he uses Dark Strike. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he gains protection up 20% for 1 turn. Whenever any other unaligned forces or ally uses a special ability, Malicos assist. This sounds almost like a dark side version in a way of General Anakin Skywalker. Has so many ways of protecting his team, doing like multi attacks in a single turn, reducing max health. This sounds insanely nuts, and I love the fact that he's not like Trench and he's plugged into one team and then the team's got a shelf life. Unaligned Force users have so many top performing teams: Sirajunda, Rey, Lord Vader. Other list goes on and on and on. I mean, technically you could use him with Starkiller. I think that might be a waste since the whole team's not unaligned Force users. But nonetheless, this is a unit that's gonna have so many different uses. Holy cow, we definitely need a Conquest unit, I think, so far, since we're already over halfway through the year. We need a Conquest unit that sounds hype, it's awesome, and it's actually really good at the same exact time. This sounds like it's gonna check all those boxes. My gosh. Again, I highly encourage people who haven't played Fallen Order, play it like you're watching a Netflix show. You watch maybe 1 episode a week. Play like 1 level at a time. This is definitely something I feel like every Star Wars video game fan should experience at least once. Now, I just want to go through all the key attributes, inspiration, all this other stuff. It's just kind of nice getting some additional insight. I'm still kind of mad. There's no, I get it, no Night Sister synergy, but that would have been awesome to have just that 1 extra tag, but he's already very usable. So the key attributes: devastating attack, which we kind of saw throughout the kit with an assortment of potent debuffs. Skirts the Edge of Madness with 2 new effects, which improve his offensive capabilities. Omicrons for Grand Arena help both Malicos and his allies. Those are some of the best bang per buck Omicrons I'm really seeing, man. It benefits pretty much everyone. So from Taron Malicos to his appearance in Jedi Fallen Order when Cal Kestis meets up with him on Dathomir. Powerful former Jedi who has slowly gone mad after the events of Order 66 and seeks hidden power on the Night Sisters' home planet. And then CG Coffee had the hardest time defeating this boss in JFO. So he insisted that he'd be really good in SPG. I hope so. Conquest needs to have really banger units. Trench is a poor excuse of a Conquest character. The Scythe, they messed it up, they nerfed it, and now it's at best a decent reinforcing ship. And Fury Class 6 was the only good one so far this year. This one, I think they know they're gonna come up on top, baby. And Lord Vader, I don't think it's gonna be much of a joke after this. So here's some quotes from designer. When I first saw Taron Malicos in my initial playthrough of JFO, I immediately hoped there would be an opportunity to bring him to the holotables. I was incredibly bummed when we got the requirements for Cal. I'm like, oh man, where's Malicos? I think he's definitely a worthy conquest. So extremely happy to see this guy come, because I don't know when the next opportunity might be. Now I feel like, except Grease, I feel like we kind of have completed our Fallen Order for the most part. Characters, there's a couple of other ones that would be nice. And when it came up during the scheduling, I excitedly raised my hand to volunteer to work on him. His proficiency with the Force combined with him teetering on the edge of madness really felt like a compelling narrative for a character. It was kind of like a little bit of Maul. Getting the opportunity to fulfill that dream is incredible, and every step of Malicos' development was a true joy and passion project to try and do justice for this dark wanderer. It's rare in a career like this you get a chance to do this, and it's something I'll remember for years to come. And that's from CG Mouse. Strategy tips. Can you give us some ideas here? Again, it's gonna be a few months. We're gonna have to reread this kit in a couple months again. Let your stacks at Edge of Madness reach over 20 so you can fully utilize Vile Thrash to combo with Die Whelp for maximum damage. Remember that Edge of Madness reduces Malicos' defense stat, not to be confused with his protection stat. Much different, of course. This leaves him vulnerable to burst damage from your opponent. Like maybe Commander Tano can like land a really good hit. Keeping him healthy will be critical to help counteract this. Malicos is an option for Lord Vader, as we talked about. If you want to use Maul somewhere else, you might need both. Wouldn't it be funny if, you know what? I've been thinking this whole time Maul with Malicos. I would not be mad because right now Lord Vader is a function of Maul. Maul is the galactic legend of the team. I hate to say it. He really is. He's the thing that makes Lord Vader semi-usable. But if this can make Maul be back with Mandalorians full time and Malicos makes Lord Vader better, not at the fault of Maul, but he just has more things that are offered for Lord Vader, that is the best case scenario right there. And that might not be too far from reality. So we'll need to wait and see. And of course, talk about Sears, unaligned Force User Squad. Man, there's gonna be too many possibilities how to use this. I guess it depends on how good he's at Lord Vader. If he's just mediocre at Lord Vader, move the Seer Juna, but it sounds like on paper, a lot of great stuff happening. So for the Echo the Fallen Order unique with the Omicron, does this effect persist? Malicos defeat apply to everything or only to revive prevention? Only to revive prevention, as we saw, was kind of contained inside that clause. The rest unique relies on Malicos being alive, also referred to as being active. So it's kind of acting like a leadership almost. So we have another question. For the strength is power unique, does Malicos' ability to use Dark Strike again when he has accuracy up or defense up stack with the Omicron effect? And indeed it does. So they kind of give you some examples here. With accuracy up or defense up and the Omicron active, Malicos can use up to 3 attacks per turn. So again, kind of like Jedi Knight Skywalker, but a little bit more severe. From using an ability on his turn, from having accuracy or defense up, which isn't hard to get on a Seer Juna team, for having the Omicron and being in Grand Arena. So that's a lot of a turn. That if he is truly a high damage character, wowza! In his unique strength is power, it says whenever an enemy dispels a debuff Malicos inflicted from one of his abilities, he gains a stack of Edge of Madness until the end of the encounter. Would this include debuffs he applies from other sources, something from like a Galactic Challenge, for example? Nope, it's only what he directly applies himself. We got a few more here. Can Malicos gain multiple bonus turns from Vile Thrash if, for example, he had 40 stacks of Edge of Madness? Would he gain 2 bonus turns? Unfortunately not. He gains a bonus turns for having 20, but no additional bonus turns beyond that. And then here is their official response with the Sith or Night Sister. Now, again, I want to emphasize, like I did at the beginning, I fully did not expect this guy to have Sith synergy, but I thought at the minimum some Night Sister synergy. I was really hoping when I first saw this stuff last week in the data mines, like, ooh, Maul, Savage, that would be pretty cool. You know, he led the Night Brothers for a little bit, if I recall correctly. The inspiration we're using of Terran Malicos and his JFO appearance when he cemented himself as a former Jedi and seeking power. In this snapshot, okay. I mean, we can use this, you know, technicality for a lot of other characters that have tags that maybe they shouldn't have because of a snapshot. All right, but anyways, they're saying in this snapshot, he does not work with Marion as an ally and is quick to turn against Cal. In our game's terms, he presented himself as the Force user who shares no line with the Sith or Jedi, therefore unaligned Force user. You won't find me arguing against that. I don't agree with 100%. It's like denying a big part of his history. But what am I to say on that? Technically, yeah, in that snapshot, but I think it's really shutting out a big part of the history that led him to this moment and the power that he pursued and obtained during his time on Dathomir. Anyways, most excited unit I've been for Conquest this year. I was this point in Trench. This one, I'm finding it hard to see how this could fail, especially with so many different ways he could be utilized, not just like how Trench is stuck with Separatists. This guy seems really bonkers. Lord Vader, Rey, Starkiller, the list goes on how this character is going to be utilized. Holy cow, man. Really pumped. Guys, we still got one more thing to talk about later on today, so get ready for it. We're going to talk about the Leviathan release date and kit reveal very shortly. It's a busy day here in Honnold Holland News, but just know, being with you guys is an absolute privilege, having tons of fun, loving the hype you guys have had in the comments, but stay tuned, we're not quite done. So always remember, until that next time we meet, how it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never of a Saturday.